We hear Canada, we have a great relationship with the people of Canada, but it's been very difficult. And they put a charge, and they were a little bit early, we found out about it. So, and we have all the cards. We have every single one. We don't want to do anything bad, but they have, economically, we have such power over Canada. I'd rather not use it, but they did something with our tech companies today trying to copy Europe. They copied Europe. It's not going to work out well for Europe either, and it's not going to work out well for Canada. They were foolish to do it. And so I said, we're going to stop all negotiations with Canada right now until they straighten out their act.
Trade wars harm all parties because they disrupt the economy, damage business relationships, and break down established supply chains. Donald Trump started the trade war already on 1st February 2025 by signing executive orders under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, declaring a national emergency. These orders announced a 25% tariff on Canadian and Mexican goods, plus a 10% tariff on Canadian energy. As Trump plays one-dimensional chess, he probably didn't see it coming that Canada and Mexico would react to such hostilities against them. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau promptly announced 25% retaliatory tariffs on a broad range of U.S. goods, covering sectors like liquor, vegetables, clothing, shoes, perfume, household appliances, furniture, and sporting goods, totaling billions in value. The Canadian people took their own actions by boycotting American products in supermarkets and removing the USA as their favorite vacation destination. Canadians living in the USA are also selling their properties and moving back to Canada or other friendly countries like Cuba. Flights from Canada to the USA are significantly down. Advance bookings have dropped a staggering 70%, and airlines plan to remove up to 320,000 seats by October 2025. Car trips between Canada and the USA fell by 38% in March 2025. Many U.S. businesses face bankruptcy because of Donald Trump's hobby of imposing tariffs, including hotels, travel agencies, and tourist venues. On some days, Disneyland often looks more like a ghost town than a buzzing tourist attraction, and Canada is not the only country with which Donald Trump started a trade war. The USA is, in fact, in a trade war with every country on this planet. And the reason is a totally crazy calculation. Donald Trump's import tax hikes, he calls them tariffs, of up to 145% will crush any imports to the USA. Only people who have no knowledge about trading or production will think this will have a positive outcome for the United States. It will not help American companies. It will destroy many of them because it is simply impossible, I repeat, impossible, to reconfigure a supply chain of dozens to thousands of items in a matter of days. It takes 2 to 3 years to build new manufacturing facilities, and that is only counted from the moment the decision is made. Then you still must have the money to pay for those huge investments. And in 3 years, there will be another president who might reverse those crazy taxes, leaving all your investments worthless. So there are 3 possible outcomes. 1. You manage to survive the tax chaos created by Trump. 2. You go bankrupt after a short period because nobody wants to buy your overpriced products anymore. 3. You go bankrupt after the taxes have been reversed by the next president. Every company that goes bankrupt because of the tariffs is one too many. Every American who loses their job is one too many, because this was entirely a self-inflicted wound. Donald Trump is trying to fix a problem that doesn't actually exist. He claims the United States is in a financial crisis because of a trade deficit. However, this trade deficit has nothing to do with the national debt crisis, which he himself has worsened with his big, beautiful bill. While a trade deficit can be a negative indicator, trade alone does not account for all the money a country generates. For example, tourism revenue isn't counted, Hollywood movie licensing isn't counted, and all the revenue that companies like Google, Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, Apple, Microsoft, and Yahoo earn from service fees also isn't included. Donald Trump claimed Canada charges U.S. farmers 200, 300, 400% tariffs on dairy products, such as cheese and butter, forcing American exporters to pay enormous duties. Canada has steep, overquoted tariffs under its supply management system, approximately 245% on cheese and 300% on butter, with liquid milk tariffs around 240 to 70%. But these rates would only kick in if US exports exceed a set annual quota, a threshold American farmers never reach. So Donald Trump is essentially talking about a fantasy. Yes, in theory, these tariffs exist, but because of the conditions attached to those import taxes, they have never actually been enforced. Canada established these rules in 1970, not to retaliate against the USA, but to protect Canadians from losing control over critical food supplies to any foreign country. Are Donald Trump's minions really so cowardly that they don't dare to inform him he is chasing an illusion? Donald Trump's administration claimed they would strike 99 trade deals in 3 months, yet to date only 2 announcements with the UK and China have materialized. The self-proclaimed King of the USA also ignored the fact that it is not he who can conclude trade deals, but Congress, and on average, that takes 18 months, not 3. The real impact of his trade war will only become evident in months or even years, when it is possible to tally the companies that have gone bankrupt. Donald Trump will proudly showcase the few big corporations that opened factories in the USA, but he will ignore the thousands of small businesses he drove out of business. Please click like and subscribe to our channel, Lies Have Short Legs.